I think everyone's kind of afraid to see themselves, including myself. It's scary. We want to be free. We want our lives to change, but very few people want to change.
Yeah.
And when we get closer and closer to change, we close down, we anchor in because we're scared, because that change is threatening to how we've lived our lives up till now, how we've taught to live our lives. So we collapse into ourselves, we get rigid, and of course we're afraid. Part of the work is that resistance. And if somebody doesn't have that resistance, a lot of times they're not aware of what the change is going to do. Because spirituality is the shedding of identity. That's what it is. Whatever you say, I am blank, there's your identity. And so if you're used to being one way and going into your blind spot might alter that, that's really super, super scary. Like, for instance, I had a client wanted a partner, could see the benefit of having a partner, having somebody to go to weddings with and whatever the case may be, having someone to sleep with, great, but didn't want somebody in her house. Didn't want somebody leaving towels on their floor, right? And didn't want to navigate around somebody because their whole childhood was spent navigating around their parents and their siblings and being afraid of an outburst. And so she was working against her own desire. I want a partner, but I don't want to navigate around somebody. And she fused those two things together. It's possible to have a partner that you don't have to navigate around. But approaching that is scary. Because as you approach what you want, the reason you developed the strategy was so you don't get overwhelmed. Resistance is part of healing, and it's to be respected, not plowed through. There are parts of us who are very willing, well-meaning, keeping us safe, although dissatisfied, but keeping us safe.
Mhm.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, and we've all experienced it, right? So, yes, when we want change, we want something different, but are we truly willing to then, be with that change, be with that transformation? And I mean, it, it's 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 difficult, right? It's an adjustment even as well. And it is about being in that unknown space and trusting that you'll be okay. You'll be able to navigate through that space of the unknown. So there's a lot that can come up for sure. But again, a lot of it is just your own ego trying to keep you safe, which is what that is its job, is to keep you safe, keep the status quo. So there is going to be a little bit of uncomfortableness, a little bit of unease, a little bit of unknown and fear about what the change will bring. But if it's kind of like we have this, I want this, but I don't want this. And so they contradict each other. And so then you stay stuck, right?
Right. And all of us who are on the call chose to be spiritual. We didn't realize what that choice would mean in terms of outcomes and events. And so sometimes you may choose to be spiritual, like, oh, this is great. I'm going, because the laws of attraction and all that, we think we're going to get the lives that we want. When in truth, a lot of times when we choose to be spiritual, we are confronted with what we are not that we think we are. And it could be as you have, as I have, right? And that confrontation process is very hard if you're attached to being a way. So, for instance, there was a period of time where I couldn't make a buck. And I'm like, wow, I'm educated, I'm smart, I couldn't make a buck. And I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like, okay, am I still valid even though don't make much money? Am I still valid? Am I still worthwhile? And even though I know the answer is yes, there's a part of me that didn't.
Mhm.
I kept on calling myself a loser or whatever the case may be, or was really, until I got to that place of unconditional, like, I'm good. So what I don't make money? So what? Does that make life any worth less living? No. And then when I got that, things started to roll again. A lot of times when we're experiencing loss, we're trying to learn unconditional love for ourselves. When nothing's working, That's a lot of times what we set ourselves up to learn. Now, in my opinion, there's no higher self puppeting us, right? I don't believe that. I believe that we put things in play with our intention, and the rest of us, the central self, our inner power, coordinates accordingly, coordinates circumstances so that we learn what we need to learn to get where we want to get. We just don't remember saying what we wanted. And so it seems that the universe is doing something to us. And really, the universe is working through us for us.